If you've not seen me before, my name's Scott. I used to be someone that used to self-harm many years ago. I used to suffer with depression and anxiety. I'm 7 years clean now. I used to do it between the ages of 15 and 20. And since coming away from self-harm and overcoming that obstacle, I really want to help people overcome their problems with self-harm, and also give support to the parents too, because I can imagine that it is really awful watching your kid hurt themselves. It must be bad. Obviously my mum, I've had loads of conversation with her and my dad and my stepdad about this kind of thing and how they felt and their perception of things. So I've kind of gathered some information together, some advice just to give you guys support. Okay, so I hope this video is really useful. This is episode number 4, and this one is about being encouraging. So why I say being encouraging, because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of a discouraging sentence or something said to me that's really discouraging. If your child is self-harming, the chances are one of the things that they could be going through is bullying or discrimination, that kind of stuff, and they get discouraged all the time. Wherever they go, they get discouraged by just random people they go to school with, or if they've got a job, maybe people they work with, or they go to college, people they go to college with, or just walking about in the streets and they get picked on and stuff like this. It's horrible, okay? Left, right and centre, from all angles, they're being discouraged, and it's horrible, okay? They're being told that they're wrong, they're ugly, they're this, they're that, or they can't do this, they can't do that, they don't know how to do this, they'll never make it, they'll never be a success, they're never going to be anything more than what they are, all this kind of stuff. So they're facing discouragement all the time, okay? Being told what they can't do, what they shouldn't do, how they should live their life. It's horrible. So basically what I'm saying to you parents is that you've got to be really, really encouraging, okay? And think about this from the perspective of your actual language, okay? So rather than saying, you shouldn't do this, flip it on the other side and say, you should do this. So for example, you shouldn't hang around with people of a bad influence, for example. Instead of using that language, use the flip side terminology, the more positive thing, and say you should be spending time with this person, okay? So rather than discouraging them from things they shouldn't do, you should be focusing on encouraging them into doing things that they should be doing, okay? Do you understand the point? I mean, they're both the same thing. Like, don't run in the road is saying the same thing as walk across the road, okay? But it's just one's a negative, it's a discouraging thing, one's an encouraging thing, it's a positive. So yeah, I know it sounds stupid, but your language, using the more positives, it's more encouraging. Like, we are more prone to influence when someone tells us to do something, to be more of a positive influence, than when we're told not to do stuff. Because when we're told not to do stuff, there's something in us that makes us want to do it. So yeah, I really hope that makes sense. So be encouraging, and not only just use that terminology and those kinds of phrases, but think about the way you actually treat them in the house. I mean, if they're a teenager, you probably want to discourage them from doing things all the time, like don't have sex, don't get people pregnant, and all this, stupid things like that, or don't harm yourself. It's not going to work. Okay, so try your absolute best to stay away from being discouraging about things. Be encouraging on the flip side of the discouragement that you usually would have given them. Okay, I know it's easier said than done. Okay, but you've got to be really, really aware of the kind of things that you're saying, and also give them some real positive encouragement in terms of tell them what they're good at when they deserve it. Okay, play it up just a little bit. Okay, don't need to over exaggerate because they're going to understand, but just really give it some real nice things. So if they do something, say, oh, that's really good, well done, or ask them what they're going to be doing, and when they give you an answer, say, oh, that's a really good idea. Just little things. Feedback. That's what it's all about. I mean, if you're an employee at a company and your boss tells you you've done a really good job, how much do you like it? You've got to treat your child like in the same respect. You know what I mean? Because when they get told negative things like they're not good at this or that's not good enough, that just adds to the discouragement and indirectly making them want to self-harm. Does that make sense? Okay. When I used to get negatives thrown at me all the time, I used to just keep adding and adding and adding and adding to the pressure of wanting to self-harm. Okay. So yeah, just please use encouraging language and just be generally encouraging. Okay. So remember, use your positive sayings. So it's just that you do something rather than avoiding doing something. Okay. All that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, always leave comments below or message me. All the best. Take care.